Okay, so Rishika, so you were in a very privileged band of people that got 8.5 in your IELTS writing, and you got it first time, which is amazing.
Yes.
So
Thank you.
this video is just to show people or give people advice about how you did it, and if there's any advice that you could give to the other students. But first, can you just give people a little bit of background information about you?
Right. I studied mechanical engineering from the University of Mumbai. I graduated this year, and I'll be going to Australia for my master's.
Excellent. What masters are you doing?
I'm specializing in food and packaging innovation. So, like how your day-to-day food they're produced, like a bag of chips, how it goes from a potato to being something that you eat. So that's what
Oh,
I'll be doing.
interesting. So you're going to help the rising population of the world eat whenever.
Well, in a healthier way, hopefully.
Yeah, yeah, excellent. That's
Yeah.
that's a really good. I'm very happy to help you get there. So,
Thank you.
can you tell people what scores you got in each of the different modules?
For listening, I got 8.5.
Hmm.
For reading, I got 9.
Hmm.
For writing, I was 7.5. And for speaking, I got 9.
Don't feel like 7.5 in writing is bad. It's an amazing score. Most people would give anything to get that score. So yeah, let's start with writing. So
Okay.
first time to get 7.5 in writing is a huge achievement. So let's start with task two. What advice would you give students for task two?
Well, I think the structure is the most important thing. Before I encountered your website, I had absolutely no idea what I was supposed to write. Like, I had a billion ideas for each point, but like you said, stick to one idea and then expand. I had no idea how to do that. So I think knowing what you're supposed to write is the most important thing. And timing yourself is, I think, is equally important as knowing it.
Hmm. And did you find that when you were practicing, it took you a lot longer, or did you do it under exam conditions?
I tried my best to do it under exam conditions, but there were a few times when I did task 1 in 20 minutes, then I had to go do something else, then I came back and tried to do task 2 in 40 minutes.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah,
So I timed myself, but it wasn't like a continuous sitting as what happens in the exam.
hmm. And what about vocabulary and grammar? What advice would you give students for that for the writing test?
I think vocabulary and grammar isn't something you learn in a day. You need to be able to, use it day in and out. Like what you talk about, a vocabulary book. I think even if you don't maintain a notebook, like every day find a new word. I think just a new word, even in a week, and trying to incorporate it. I think that's good enough.
Yeah, that's excellent advice. Like today is Friday, and every Friday I get emails from students saying, "My exam is tomorrow. How can I improve my vocabulary?" Like, I can't really help
You
you in
can't do it
24
in a day.
hours. Like, okay, so speaking, you got a great mark in speaking. What
Thank you.
advice? Say somebody might be doing the test tomorrow. What advice would you give them for that?
Um, this is a speaking test right now. Like
Yeah, yeah,
you and
yeah.
so you don't have to be worried about how you're going to impress the examiner. Are you going to, blow them out of their mind or something? You just need to be able to carry on a conversation.
Mhm.
So practice talking to people in English instead of your native language. I think being able to put across your ideas, something that you'll be able to do clearly in your language, but not in English.
Mhm.
That is a hurdle that people face, most of the
Mhm.
time.
Mhm. Excellent.
So,
And you got a perfect 9 in reading. I think a lot of people would, even native English speakers who are doing the test struggle to get a band 9. So you can obviously give amazing advice. What would your advice be for reading?
um, I I think that this is something you know unique about me, but I can read quite fast. I finish a 400-page novels. I do them in a day. So I can read fast and retain information. It isn't like I'm randomly skipping pages, but I can retain information. So um, when I used to practice at home, I used to finish it within 48, 49 minutes. But I had no idea about the true and false type and the first type, matching headings. So your website helped me with that. Like when you talked about how to do the matching heading kind of questions first, so that you have an idea about what the passage is about. Those kind of things help me a lot. Also, even in the test, I finished my all the 3 segments in under 50 minutes. So
Wow.
I left myself a lot of time to check my things. Also, not many people talk about this, but I also went for my bathroom break during this time.
Wow. Not many
Because
people get to do that.
yes,
So
because
a lot of people might be thinking, you know, she got a band 9, she can read really, really quickly. I'm not a fast reader. And like me personally, I'm not a fast reader, and a lot of people aren't. Could you give advice to someone who is either, you know, quite a normal reader, like, you know, they can't read a 400-page novel in a day, or somebody who wants to improve their reading speed? What advice would you give them?
because IELTS, the reading test is more of an objective kind of a test. You just need to find the right answer. It's better if you are clear with the kind of questions rather than the entire passage. So if you know the kind of answer to be expected, you can find it better in the passage. I mean, for any other situation other than IELTS, this probably might not work, but for the test, this is the best strategy, and I found it for me.
Yeah, so being aware of the different types of question are really important. Like something that holds a lot of students back is they just go in and think it's a reading test, lots of reading
I need to
questions,
read.
and let's just do that. But you know, there are true, false, not given, matching headings, multiple choice, sentence completion. These are all very, very different questions, testing different skills and require different approaches. So that's really good advice. So just in general, for somebody like yourself, so somebody who needs, you know, band 7, band 8, just the general approach to your preparation, what advice would you give students?
I think, although you stress that you needn't practice so much, I found my weaknesses when I practice the test. I time myself. I try to do it under test conditions. So I knew how much time I needed for each segment in reading. I also found out that I had to be very quick in the fourth section of listening, when you have to read and understand all the 10 questions in the same time as you would take for like 5 questions in the first section. Like they give you that little time to read the questions, right? So in section 1, you need to go through 4 or 5 questions, and the same time is given to you to go through all the 10 questions in section 4. So I kept that in mind before approaching the fourth section. So I had to go through all those questions very quickly in order to catch the answer.
I think that's excellent advice because anybody can apply not the specific things that you did, but what you did was you reflected on your learning. You reflected on your mistakes. And that is absolutely crucial if you want to, A, prepare by yourself without much help from a teacher, and B, to get one of the really higher scores. Because a lot of people are going to IELTS classes in review centers and places like this, and it's just teaching them, everybody is taught the exact same syllabus. But to get the really high scores, what you need to do is you need to practice and do your tests and reflect on the reasons, the specific reasons why you're not getting the score that you need. So that you can do that in the reading and listening by, you know, if every single time you do a test, you get all the true, false, not given questions wrong, guess what? You need to focus on that. You know, so figure out your areas of weakness and turn those into strengths, and that is really so. That's amazing advice. So, what difference is getting the IELTS test going to make to your life? Is your life going to be the same or different, or is it a big thing?
It is really a big thing. I was very happy when I got my test results. I'll be beginning the application process for my master's in the coming week, and I hope that the results are going to accelerate the process, and I hope I'll get into a good college.
Excellent. So if you need any help with anything, because you have helped me and you've helped all the students, if you need any help with anything, checking anything or help in any way, just let me know. Just send me an email and we'll get back to you. So I will not take up any more of your time. I really appreciate your you sharing your knowledge with everybody, and I think that's going to help other people get over the hurdle. Yeah, go ahead.
There's one thing I could say. Your website talks a lot about how to prepare, but one thing I would like to tell the viewers is that on the day of your test, make sure that you are dressed in layers.
You're what, sorry?
Dressed in layers, like you have a jacket or something. Because for me, the test location was in a hotel, like a banquet hall, where the air conditioning is really powerful, and a lot of my fellow candidates, they had a really tough time because of that. They had to go for frequent bathroom breaks and all of that because they were cold. And
I think that is a big problem, and that's something that I need to do more articles on, is test day. What to do on test day. Yeah, be prepared for a really hot room or a really cold room. It could be a really hot room, it could be a cold room. You might not get the bathroom breaks that you expected. You might not have drink, the meals or drinks or whatever, and these things can make a big difference.
Another thing, we weren't allowed to take our watches inside. So it was a really huge hall, and they had only one little projected timer on the screen, which I was lucky enough to be very close to it, but I don't think that people on the far end of the hall could easily see it. So knowing how much time it takes you at home, that is an important thing.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of things that need to be improved. I don't have any influence on how the test is given or anything like that, but there are a lot of things I think can be improved. I think it's just they have so many people doing the test that it's sometimes it's not as well organized as it could be. So yeah, thank you very much for that information, and thank you very much for helping the students. All right, have a great day. See you again.
Bye bye.